You're packing up your office. It's almost 9 p.m., the building's gone quiet, and all you're thinking about is getting home before your daughter's asleep. Then your phone rings a number with a jail extension attached to it. A man is asking for you by name, not any lawyer. You, and when they say his name, your stomach drops, because everyone in this state already knows it. 7 bodies, maybe more, and in about 10 seconds, you're going to have to decide whether you're the one person who's about to defend him. You almost don't answer the call in the first place. You've had a long day, and whatever this is, it can wait until tomorrow. But something makes you pick up anyway. It's the county jail. They tell you the man is asking for you specifically, not the public defender's office, not a name off a list. You ask who it is, and when they say the name, your stomach drops all over again, now that it's real. The papers have called him a monster before the trials even started, and now he's asking for you. You set down the coffee you were about to finish packing up. You forget about going home. You drive to the jail instead. The visitation room smells like bleach and cold metal. You sit down across from him, and for a second, you almost expect him to look different than he does on the news. He doesn't. He looks tired. Ordinary, he asks if you'll take his case. Nobody else will, he says. Everyone's already decided he's guilty before he said a word in a courtroom. You could walk away right now. Nobody would blame you. Your name doesn't have to end up next to his in every headline for the next year. But you also know something most people forget. The second a case like this hits the news, the whole system only works if everyone gets a real defense. Even him. Especially him. Because the day that stops being true for the worst person in the room is the day it stops being true for anyone. You take the case. The first thing you do is read the file. All of it. Autopsy reports. Crime scene photos. Witness statements. You've handled ugly cases before, but nothing like this. You sit alone in your office at midnight with pages spread across your desk, and for the first time in your career, you have to remind yourself to breathe evenly while you read. The second thing you do is meet with him again, this time for real. This time you have to ask him questions you already know you won't like the answers to. He tells you things. Details. The kind of details that only someone who was actually there would know. You can't repeat a word of it. Attorney-client privilege means whatever he tells you stays locked behind your teeth for the rest of your life, whether you want it to or not. You go home that night and you don't sleep. You lie in the dark, replaying his voice, flat and calm, describing things a person should never be able to describe that calmly. The next morning, you go back to work like nothing happened. That's the job. Weeks go by. You spend hours combing through the evidence, not to decide if he did it. That was never your question to answer, but to find every place the system might have gotten it wrong. A search conducted without a warrant. A confession taken after 18 hours, without sleep, without a lawyer in the room. You find a hole in the timeline nobody else caught. It's small. It might not be enough. But it's real. And it's yours to use. You start to notice the way people look at you now. Your favorite coffee shop, where you've gone every morning for 6 years, suddenly it's a little too quiet when you walk in. A neighbor stops waving. A voicemail comes in from a number you don't recognize, and it isn't friendly. Your daughter comes home from school and asks why kids are saying her dad defends bad guys. You don't have an answer that's simple enough for a 9-year-old to understand, so you just tell her you help make sure everyone gets treated fairly, even when it's hard. She doesn't fully buy it. Neither do you, some nights. You keep working anyway. The trial starts, and the courtroom is packed every single day. Reporters outside. Protesters outside. Somebody spits at your car in the parking garage. You walk past all of it every morning like it doesn't touch you, And every night you sit in your car afterward for 10 minutes before you can make yourself drive home. Inside the courtroom, it's a different fight entirely. You cross-examine the detective who ran the search you think was illegal. You watch the jury's faces while you do it, trying to read whether any of it is landing. You present the timeline gap. The prosecution pushes back hard, and for a moment, you're not sure it's going to matter at all. Closing arguments come. You stand up in front of 12 strangers who've already made up their minds about your client before they ever sat down in that jury box, and you say the only thing that's ever mattered in a case like this isn't about whether you like him. It's about whether the state proved it the right way, following the rules that protect all of us, not just him. The jury goes out. You wait. Hours turn into a full day. You sit in a hallway with a cold cup of coffee you're not drinking, and you think about every version of how this could go. They come back. Maybe he's convicted, and the sentence is exactly what everyone expected. The courtroom erupts, cameras flash, and somewhere in the middle of it, you feel something you didn't expect to feel, not disappointment. Exactly. Just the quiet knowledge that the trial happened the way it was supposed to happen. Evidence tested, rights respected, verdict earned instead of assumed. Or maybe the illegal search you found actually mattered, and the judge throws out the evidence tied to it, and the case collapses into a plea deal nobody expected. The public reaction is immediate and furious. Talk shows call it a miscarriage of justice. You go home that night to death threats in your inbox, and you sit at your kitchen table wondering if you did the right thing at all, even though you know, logically, you did exactly the job you swore to do. Either way, it's over. Or at least the trial part is. You still see his face when you close your eyes some nights. You still hear that flat, calm voice describing things nobody should be able to describe that calmly. You didn't decide if he was guilty. That was never your question to answer. You just made sure the system did what it's supposed to do, whether anyone thanks you for it or not. Because that's the part nobody tells you about being a defense lawyer. You're not the hero of this story. You're not the villain either. You're just the reason the trial could happen at all, and some nights, that's the only thing that lets you sleep. If you want to see what it's like standing on the other side of that same courtroom, the prosecutor trying to put him away for good, let me know in the comments, and I'll make that video next. If you want to see what it's like standing on the other side of that same courtroom, the prosecutor trying to put him away for good, let me know in the comments, and I'll make that video next.